There's a new comp in China that we haven't really seen in the West yet, and that is EDM Jax. Here we're playing around EDM units, and we do not play 4 or 6 in the trade with Musha as we normally have seen so far. This guide was made by a Chinese analyst called CupX, who have been helping out the very top players in China, as Xilao, who have been proving this comp working in games with plus 1600 LP. And I have been talking to CupX the last couple days about what he thinks is the best way to use this specific comp. But before we go into the build-up, let's look at what we are looking for. What we are looking for is the 4 EDM units. And here we're gonna add in Set for 2 Mushers, we're gonna add in Yone for 2 Crowd Divers, Bard for 2 Dazzlers, and adding in MF, so we are also getting the Jest Rate active. When it comes to items, we want some sort of healing item for Jax, we do also want some sort of damage item, and we do also want some sort of item that makes him lose the aggro. Lux want a shift and some sort of anti-heal and some sort of healing. Other units to look at is Set, who have the tank items and also a spark if we do not have the static shift. Set will hold bruiser and assassin items, and that is mainly it. If we get to level 9, we can just add in whatever 5-cost units that fits the comp the best. That could be everything from Xilao to Lucian and even Yorick, but most of your games you will end up having just these 8 units. One of the main things about this comp is that you want 3 combat augments, and here you want some sort of damage or sustain. Damage augments could be something like Dual Lotus, Magic Wand, Learning the Spell, Heavy Hitters, or similar. Sustain augments could be Vampirism, Bulk, Healing Orb, Combat Caster, 2 Heavy, and something similar to this. But 4 augments that you really should have an eye on is Idealism, who gives a Hand of Justice and make it stronger. Not Today, that gives us Edge of Night and also do make it stronger. And Crown Guarded, that gives us a Crown Guard and also make that item stronger. And the last augment that you should look for is Portable Forge, that can give us an artifact item. Jax is our main unit, and that is why we are itemizing him first. The best items for Jax is Hand of Justice, Jewel Gauntlet, and Edge of Night. But you could also be fine with a Bloodthirster instead of Hand of Justice, and you could also be fine with getting a Gunblade or Death Dance. In fact, Gunblade and Death Dance may be even better than Hand of Justice if you're getting the right damage augments. Jewel Gauntlet can be swapped out by any items like Deathcap, and we can also use a Crown Guard if we get the Crown augment. And when it comes to Edge of Night, we could swap it out if we're getting a Self Sonya's, since it is his best item. But we could also use something like Diamond Hands. Lux is the second unit that we want to put items on, and she wants a shift, anti-heal like Red Buff or Morello, plus 1 sustain item like Gunblade or Hand of Justice, or we could even use an Edge of Night to stay alive. You could also slam any AP items like Jewel Gauntlet or Deathcap if you're not getting some of the other items. Other relevant items to build could be Edge of Night and Bloodthirster on Set, Crown Guard, tank items, and Spark on Set. The build-up for this comp is a bit different from what we normally do, and I do want to mention that CupX mentioned that we should probably not force Jax. But if you're not contested and you get good items and a good augment at the start of the game, you can go for it. We can go for a lose streak and even do a full open if we're scared of losing to anyone else. But else just try to lose as little health as possible, meanwhile we are lose streaking. This gives us way more gold, and we do also get the option to be the first one to pick at the carousel. Do we have a strong opener? We could also try to go for a win streak. Roll a little at stage 3-2 or get 3 heart steals, but do not roll too much because we want to have a good economy when we get to level 7, which is the place where we're doing the main rolling. It is very important to understand when we are going for this comp with this strategy, we want to roll at level 7 and not at level 6. That also means that we are not looking for Jax headliner at stage 3-2, and we can be completely fine to first get the EDM headliner at stage 4. But do we find Lux or Jax as EDM units as a headliner, we do pick them up, of course. But do we find Jax or Lux as a headliner with one of the 2 other traits, we could just buy them and sell them instantly, doing to what we have learned from Leduc. But we could also just keep Jax and sell it when we face wolves, and then roll for an EDM unit again at stage 4-1 when we are level 7. When we get to level 7 or at the stage with 4-1 or 4-2, we want to have a board with 5 EDMs. That means all the 4 EDM units plus 1. That means we have to have Jax or Lux as a headliner. Then we're gonna add in Yone and also Set. From here we're just gonna put in Bard and then skip MF for later. When we have done a big roll down or have hit this board, we want to stabilize our gold a little bit again until we are hitting stage 4-5 or 5-1. Here we want to at least have Jax to 3-star, and when we have done that, we want to go to level 8 and add in MF or 5-card units that fits the board. Are we close to get Lux to 3-star? We do want to have her to 3-star as well, but else we're looking for level 9. Do we get Jax to 3-star with biz items, and we do also get Lux to 3-star and the other units to 2-star, we have secured a top 2. Do we get to this point, make sure that nobody is hitting a 3-star 4-cost unit. And that means we have to start picking up 4-cost units that we don't really need. We want to position our units to burst down tanks and carries, and at the same way use Yone as CC. That means we want to put Yone in the opposite side of the enemy's backline carry. We do also put Lux in the third row. Thanks to the duck, we know that Lux can jump to the backline when the EDM item have been used on Jax. This makes both Jax and Lux have the option to take out enemies' carries very fast. Doing so, both of them is able to jump to the backline and one-shot the carries. Do you want to see more guides like this? Remember to subscribe, it's free and you can always change your mind. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in my next guide.